Okay, so it is October 29th of 2021, and I haven't done an update in a while, simply because I haven't really had anything to update. The big news today, or as of yesterday I guess, last night, I went and picked up my second fuel tank. So, I have finally got tank number 2, which I've been waiting for 6 months. Yeah, I was really hoping to have the boat planked up about this time. And here we are, just now, getting the second fuel tank ready to put in. But it's here now, so that's a good thing. Got it last night, went and picked it up last night. I got to put a primer on it, got it stood up in here. I used my chain hoist to, chain hoist. Stand it up. I had to get a little creative. It's kind of an awkward thing to handle since it doesn't have a, a square bottom. I wound up putting a chain to the wall here and then used a come along. So the chain hoist is hooked up to this ring here, and we kind of stood it up, and then I hooked the come along onto it too, and so I put some action that way on it to pull it upright. So I'll get the 4 big surfaces painted, and then we'll flip it over, and while those are curing a little more, I can get those side, the 2 ends, top and bottom, which are actually the 2 sides, get those painted, and then we can get it in the boat. Like I said, I really haven't had much to do here for a while, so I've been kind of trying to find things to do. I set up another work area over here. You can see I got some shelving up there and some lights under the shelves and shelf under there, and this is going to be more for woodworking. I needed an area, to put, work on boards specifically here. I think I might put a 3rd one of these clamps down here so I can, attach really long boards and plane them, whatever I have to do. But I'm going to be moving most of my woodworking tools over here. That'll give me a more specific area to work on that. And these little LED lights underneath here really made the difference. For as cheap as those lights are, boy, they sure do help. But anyway, yeah, I don't know, I got some shelves back there I put a few parts trays in here. Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot to do, so. But anyway, that should change here shortly. It's going to take me a while to get that tank painted and let the paint cure up for a couple days before I try putting it in. But I've got my little deck here reattached, and the little tank will sit on that then to get it, pulled up into position. Then I'll go with, you can see I've got my supports up there ready to go. So I'll have 4 lifting points, 2 from the center track up there, and then 2 from that beam that I got attached up there. So then that tank will get picked up from here and winched into place. So I had to put this stuff back in because I was kind of fussing around a little bit with the underneath here where the aqua drive is going to go. The shaft's going to come in and all that. So I had pulled that off for a week or so so I could work under there. But I had to put it back on now to get the tank ready to be put in place. So once that tank is in place, I'll have to get the engine picked up and set in there, and I'm sure I'll probably just set it in there temporarily. The engine's over there. Get it set up in there temporarily. And then I'll put these 4 frames in. These last 4 frames. See if I remember how to do it. It's been so long, my goodness. It's been probably 5 months since I did any of these frames. Put these floor timbers in the frames. And then get the rest of those keel bolts in. And the guy that did my tanks has got some steel plate for putting the grounding shoe under here. And It's some 5/8 inch plate, which is really big, heavy stuff. It's more than Mr. Bueller called for. In the plans, he called for 3/8 inch grounding shoe plate under the boat. But I think what we'll do is we'll put that 5/8 inch plate. There's going to be a bushing for the rudder to come down into, so that that plate will stick out. From down here, it'll stick out back about 3 feet or whatever, for the rudder stock to come down and drop in there. So the rest of this is going to be 5/8 inch plate all the way up to where it goes there, up to that. And then I'll put 5/8 plate up to about here, and then we're going to go 3/8 inch plate all the way up the keel. And the reason for transitioning to 3/8 is, well, twofold. One, I don't want that real heavy plate up high. We don't want actually ballast up there. That's kind of counterproductive. But the other one is that to get it bent around this curvature, the 3/8 is gonna. My metal guy kind of thought the 3/8 we could just bend it in place, cold bend it in place. And I think he's probably right. Make a couple of like U-bolts to go in up there, and then bolted in down here, and then a couple of plates and like with the U-bolts up there. And I think we can just draw that in, and it'll probably just pull that steel right up on there. But anyway, I don't think it's going to be a bad thing to get a little extra weight down the bottom of the keel. I think it'll eliminate some of the weight that I need to put on top of the keel for inside ballast. There's going to have to be some ballast put in here. With that 5/8 inch plate being heavier and that weight down so low, every pound of ballast that I get down here in the bottom of the keel is probably going to be worth a couple pounds up in here. So if we wind up having 500 pounds down there, that should save me maybe 1,000 pounds up in here. But we'll see. I don't know. Those are kind of guesstimates a guy's got to make. And the fact that I've got these tanks are taller than what would normally be used in something like this. The water lines in here, in that area there. So all that up there is tank, and fuel is going to be above the water line. So you don't want to get the boat too tender, but you don't want to go overboard either and make it too stiff. So yeah, I don't know. I think we'll put a limited amount of inside ballast in when I actually launch it someday, and we'll see how it rides in the water, and then kind of go from there. It's about the only thing I think a person can do. But anyway, so not a whole lot to report other than this. Thank God I finally got the second fuel tank, and hopefully in the next week we'll get that in, then I can actually start hacking up some more wood.